Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk About It, Steph. I am your host, Stephanie, and of course, I have my wonderful co-host Del Frey along with me tonight.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So it's good to be back. We've got a loaded lineup tonight and some heavy hitting guests. So, unpack it all. That's really good. We have Kenneth here, uh, and Kenneth is running for Congressional District 17, and I think shortly joining us will be um, our other friend Diane, who's running for Texas House District 97.
Yes, she will be joining shortly. So let me go ahead and get this on out the way. How was everybody's weekend? How was your long weekend? Del, I know you probably had about 5 days off. How was your weekend?
It was pretty busy. Pretty busy. I was actually out. Well, I was out almost most of last week from COVID because I attended a really fun event called the LBJ Obama Gala the previous weekend, but I got a little bit sick the next couple days after that, and then I heard some people test positive for COVID. But I got through it, and by the time the weekend hit, it was good. So now my wife and I this week are just kind of getting ready for travel. I am going to the Bahamas this coming Sunday for my birthday. I am turning 40. I am
Ooh,
hoping that no hurricane is going to hit the Bahamas. It's like we decided to go to the Bahamas on my birthday, then we kind of realized, oh, wait a minute, it's hurricane season. So we will see what happens. Hopefully, it works out, but looking forward to it.
well, okay, I'm not finna pass this one up. We were at the same event.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me see. No, I don't have COVID.
A couple other
Oh
of the
my
Frisco
goodness.
Democrat Club board members were also there, and I was the only one to get COVID. So I think it might have just been like maybe just a certain area of the room, perhaps. But yeah,
Yeah, I heard a couple of folks did get sick. I'm glad that you're better, and I'm glad that I didn't get sick because I am scheduled to go have surgery coming up. It's final. I'm really having surgery this time.
But I'm
good.
sure we're going to talk about you and that surgery. That's supposed to have happened by now.
Yes, they canceled it because I've been a bad girl, so they say. So now it's been pushed back to the 16th. So on the 16th, I will be having surgery, and yes, we'll still be going live. Dell will be handling it.
Yep, I got it.
So, so Kenneth, don't be surprised if you get a quick text and say, "Hey, can you co-host with Dell?"
As long as I'm a live character, I'm all right because I can cut up a little bit. I'm trying to be good though.
No such thing. We cannot be good. Oh, it's okay. Well, we finna get into some bad stuff. How about that? Y'all ready?
I'm
It's
ready.
not bad. Good bad. Good bad, folks. It's good bad stuff. So let me go ahead and say this. Welcome everybody back to Let's Talk About It Stuff, where we're going to be getting into some deep discussions about what's going on in today's society. And of course, Texas always got something going on. We done gerrymandered something. Next, they're gonna be telling us that we can't be on our phones or go on social media. If they take social media away from it, we're gonna be in some serious deep stuff because all of us are on it. We can't live without it. We can't. So
Well,
we definitely got some.
we headed
So we
back to
definitely got
slavery.
some right there, huh?
We headed back to slavery. It was supposed to have been passed December 6th, 1865. But our master, he wants to put us back in the house outside. Let me, let me stop.
Yeah, about that. If you have not gotten your passport, I would suggest hurry up and go get your passport so you will be able to flee the country on your own terms and not on somebody else's. I'm just saying. And I'm one of the ones that need to hurry up and get the passport. I be procrastinating. But yes, get your passport because you know why I'm finna say this? Because Texas decided that if you, my friend, are married and your name is different from your birth certificate, you have to find another way to say who you are. Isn't that funny?
Hmm. Interesting.
Yes, isn't it interesting?
Yeah, it's.
Okay.
I think that you're talking. There was an initiative by the Save Act, I believe, but there's also been other ordinances that are also trying to push the similar thing, and it's basically to try to stop women from voting. I mean, this doesn't really affect men because men very rarely, if almost ever, have their last names changed when they get married. So, yeah, it is completely, it is so far an extreme of an action that I never thought we would see the Republican Party go this far. But
It,
yeah,
it's a whole new level. It's a whole new level of suppression and cheating out there in the world today. I mean, because they know they know they've messed up. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. They know they've messed up. But I don't know if you guys saw it. Trump was on the news today. I believe it was this morning, talking about how they shot a missile at a boat, an alleged boat that's supposed to be covered with drugs coming from Venezuela. So you telling me of all the things that you have to do in your arsenal, you're gonna launch a missile at a little small boat out in the middle of the ocean and blow it up and kill, well, unalive 11 people? You know, I mean, and now we got ships headed out toward the Venezuela out in that area. I don't know. That's some.
yeah. From what I understand, the concept here is they classified anyone that they think may be smuggling drugs or something like that. They're classifying them now as terrorists, and they're
Oh,
saying, well, terrorists are a threat to national security. And if there's a terrorist who's a threat to national security, if that's actually true, then by that logic, it may make sense for the military to take action. But the danger here is that it seems that nowadays the word terrorist can be thrown at almost anyone. And when we exaggerate things to the point where we say, like, oh, look at these protesters are violent, when they're not actually violent, right? Or you say these people are criminals when it's really just uh, civil disobedience. When they exaggerate these things and call almost anything and everything violent or anything and everything a terrorist, then it opens the doors to actions without due process. But I think we also have Diane Simmons online as well. And hi,
wow.
Diane. How you doing? Welcome back to the show. We were just getting started because we got a lot going on today. But Stephanie, what was the first topic we wanted to go into?
Oh, we're going to definitely talk about this craziness that's going on with this Texas redistricting and taking away voters' registrations to where we going backward. Instead of us going forward, we're going backwards. So let's definitely deep dive into that.
You know, Steph, this is worse than the Great Compromise, because right now, even with this political bull crap of gerrymandering, you know, they're saying that blacks votes only carry the weight of 1/5 that of a white constituent, and if you're Latino, Hispanic, 1/3. Hell, as a slave, you had more rights as a slave, or more value as a slave than you do right now with this gerrymandering across Texas.
Yep, that's true. That is true. And the Latinos, I think it's the same thing.
You know, it's that's why I think it's blatantly racist. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, it's
Which
almost
which
like the
is
maps
showing.
are being drawn to protect the incumbents and not the people. Shocking, right? That's a little bit of
Yeah,
sarcasm there, but
It just I don't, you know, if I tell you they're not full out right to suppress the community, whether you're black, brown, green, orange, purple, they're full fledged attacking. And I tell people all the time, our society, we're at war. We're at civil war. We not have physically said the word war broke out yet, but you might as well say our civil liberties and freedoms are under attack by any
it
means
is.
necessary. And until people realize that we have the power to stop this administration, it's only going to get worse. Because, like I've said before, what Obama and Biden has put in place in 12 years, it's taken this president 8 months to destroy it. literally 8 months, and people think that it's going to get better. I don't understand what planet they're on. I don't understand how they come to this rationale that they think Trump is doing good, because even though he made the comment, he made the
Yeah.
comment, yeah, he made the comment, Steph, that he's obligated to take care of the people. Well, if you obligated to take care of the people, then what the hell are you doing?
I don't think when he says he's obligated to take care of the people, it is not for all of us. When it comes down to black and brown, we're going to keep it real. When it comes down to black and brown people, he's not talking about us. He's talking about others that look just like him. You know, so if you are a little bit different, right, in the LBT, and I'm sorry if I messed it up, but if you in a different group, he's not talking about you either.
Which
So
he's from day one, he began attacking people's civil liberties and rights from the first day of office. Because one of the first things he did was decided to tell people there's only two genders. Why do you care how someone chooses to identify, whether it's male, female, trans? you know, but this was the first thing he did. I mean, literally on day one, you wanted to attack the community of the LGBT community. But he failed to realize that the voice of the LGBT community is pretty huge,
yep.
despite what he thinks.
Yeah, when he says he wants to take care of the people, he really means his people. So,
Hmm.
and it's interesting too. A lot of this, I'm not quite sure. I don't think Trump is mentally there enough to really be all this effective, because we've seen how effective he was in his first term. I think the second term, a lot of this is a little bit of hand holding from the Heritage Foundation and their Project 2025 plan. So I know when you say that, I've heard other candidates also say, hey, it feels like we're at civil war. And I've heard some other people say, like, man, I think the word civil war is a little bit too strong. But at the same time, too, when we see that when protesters who are practicing civil, and I mean civil disobedience, when they're treated like criminals, then it can absolutely feel like it's at civil war, especially when those who are doing civil disobedience are now being arrested by these agents who now wear masks. Like normally police officers at least have a badge number on them and you can see their face. But with these ICE agents, they're wearing masks. And I almost kind of wonder, man, like, are all these guys really ICE, or are some of these Proud Boys just, cosplaying as ICE? It's impossible to tell, right? Because of the fact they're wearing masks. So,
There's no safety there, because anybody could put on a mask and say I'm ICE and attack you. This is why I keep saying we're under attack. It doesn't matter which way you look. He decided to take money from FEMA and reallocate it to ICE to terrorize the community. But in actuality, what has he done to protect the people? Because if we break it down and we talk apples to apples, the U.S. of A, the United States of America, was built on the backs of immigrants. Most of the people here in the U.S. are immigrants. We are all immigrants. None of us are here originally, so we all originated from somewhere. But if you look at who's building our roads, who's building our houses, our churches, watching our children, they're all immigrants. We're all immigrants. So while you're attacking this particular set of individuals that are in the United States, has he failed to realize how many billions of dollars they actually contribute to the economy? You're looking at more than $3 billion a year that the immigrants bring into the U.S., that most of them will never ever get the benefit of utilizing the system in which they're paying into. So it's a problem. But you say you're helping us. You say you're trying to get things back. You're making America better than it has ever been. What the hell are you doing to make it better? Because you've put tariffs in place and you're lying and you're overinflating, telling the people that the tariffs is bringing, it's bringing in billions and billions of dollars. But what he failed to realize is the patrons, we the people, are the ones paying the cost for the tariffs. The cost of beef has went up. For a pound of, the estimated price for 1 pound of beef is more than $8 per pound of beef right now. He platformed on bringing down the cost of eggs, and I know if we all been to the store lately, you can even get a dozen of eggs for under $5 just about. So he's full of it. He's full of it. Everything that he campaigned on, that he said that he was going to do to make it better, for whether it was the blacks, for the whites, for everybody, he said he's going to make things better. but he hasn't. But one thing he has kept his word on is when he said to the people, "This is the last time you have to vote. I promise you. You will never have to vote again." And so, what has he done? He called Governor Hot Wheels and said, "Hey, I need 5 seats." Now he's attacking other blue states to suppress the vote of the black and brown communities, all in an attempt to seize the control as if he's a king. Because he meant it when he said, "This will be the last time you ever have to vote." Those were his words, not mine. I love Christians. I'm a Christian. You ain't got to vote again. This is just this last time. I promise you.
Now you know he ain't nowhere near being a Christian.
He is. He's the
you,
biggest.
you know he's not. But
I'm
let me tell you, I hear where you going at on this, and it's like the people that he cares about the most are the ones that make more than what we all do put together. So if you in the million plus and billionaire, and if you have a certain title, he cares about you. If you're going to sit there and kiss his butt and say, "Yes, we love you, we're going to eat your Cheetos with you," then he's cool with you. But the time that you decide to go against him, he's gonna attempt to gut you like a fish or have you gutted. So this is where I'm like, right now we are in a time in our life that every last American, red bonnet American, needs to stand up and speak out against what is going on, because what he said is coming into play. This may be the last time that we can elect people to run for office. This might be our last time voting, because if he has his way like he has over in Texas, because Texas obviously don't have any balls anymore, so we just gonna let anybody come in here and tell us what to do now. So it is what it is. We got a governor that says, "Okay, how you want it?"
Hmm. Stephanie, this is why I said it's absolutely amazing because he has been in office since 2014. And if you go back and you pull the stats of everything that has happened since he's been in office as governor, that's actually not one positive thing on that map that has improved if you're looking at the things that he's graded on as governor. But he wants to sit back and he wants to go in and attack DEI. And this is something I still can't get beyond and get past. Because as a governor who is himself DEI, how the hell do you sit your ass in that wheelchair with the swords on your butt side and need a nurse to clean your behind, but yet you want to say you are against DEI and you sit there and you violate the rights of people, but it doesn't make it any right because you got the commissioner, which is what is it? If I'm not mistaken, Diane, correct me, Tim O'Hare.
Oh yeah, that's the other one.
Sit right there in the chair at our county commissioner's court, and they strategically attacked our brown and black voting locations. When you set out intentionally to remove 20 polling locations from early day polling sites from historically populated, well, not historic, from heavily populated black and brown communities, and you take another 117 seats away from, again, heavily black and brown communities for actual voting day locations, you intentionally trying to suppress the vote because they're attacking from every angle. Trump says, "This is your last time voting. I promise you, we're gonna fix this for you." He makes the phone call to Governor Hot Wheels, who then later turns around and says, "Yes, sir, master, how can I help you?" "Oh, you want how many seats? You need 5? So I can get that for you today, Daddy." Because some of them calling them Daddy. I don't know how they. Mm. So they
Yeah.
immediately turn around and they give him up 5 seats by any means necessary and violating our rights, our Voters' Rights Act, which is straight out racial discriminating, and it doesn't matter who you are, but he's attacking us.
So let me ask you this question. Do you feel, and it goes for both sides, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, do you feel, anyone y'all can answer this question, that the parties have just forgot what to do, or they're confused, or they drink the Kool-Aid?
No, Steph, the problem is, and I'm sorry, Diane, guy, I can hush and let you guys go. We can't hear you, Diane. All right. The problem is, I believe, Stephanie, is we've come to a place in society where it's politics over people. Because they're prioritizing politics over the people and they're using dark money to fund campaigns, it has come about politics before the people. So it's whatever serve the agenda or the needs of those individuals in office, or those that put the highest amount of money in their pockets or in their campaign, the donors. That's what it has become about. So I don't think it's whether you are Republican or whether you're a Democrat or whether you're independent. The parties have gotten to be a place where they're driven by dark money, and the money motivates them, and so they're no longer caring about the people because they're so out of touch with reality that they're telling us as the people, screw you, we could care less what you think, how you feel, or what's happening, because they're doing it. If you remember when they locked Nicole Collier in the Capitol, and
Yeah.
what was her name, one of the representatives, Jen or Hensoa, asked the Speaker of the House, hey, can we put this on? Can we suspend the normal protocol and address the issues of Kerr County? He sat there and he crossed his arm and said, ma'am, that is not before the committee and it is not appropriate. How can you sit there and say what's for the people when that was supposed to be the number one issue on the ballot, Stephanie?
Yeah. And also, what's also one of the top issues on the ballot that will be coming up in 2026 for Denton County is about elections. We are having some issues with countywide election. Everybody else is have countywide where you can go anywhere in the county on election day except for Denton County. And that is something that has to change. We are no longer in the 1900s. We're in 2025, and you got so many people coming in here. It is time for you to move with the future, because if you don't move with the future, you're going to be stuck in the past and doing bull crap that what we're doing now. So we're not going to advance. We're going to constantly be behind. And that's one of the reasons why Texas education is behind, because we refuse. We got people sitting in office right now that probably shouldn't be there, that wants to stay in the past. They don't want to advance. I don't know what are they afraid of. Are they afraid that maybe we're going to forget them? I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll try to loop back to the question that you asked. You were asking, have the parties forgotten like what to do or how to go about things? I think your question was, and
Hmm.
I would respond, and I would agree with Kenneth that one of the major problems is the money in politics. We have to get money out of politics, but that's going to be very, very difficult, particularly here in Texas, because I think I've said this before in a previous episode. While there kind of are some caps, and there's also caps where you have to immediately report financial campaign contributions on the congressional level. At the
Hmm.
state level here in Texas, there are no caps. So in Texas, you can receive like an infinite amount of campaign contributions. You can receive an infinite amount of money. Now you do have to report it, but if you're running for Congress, like there are certain caps in place, and also if you receive a certain amount of money within a certain short period of time, you are obliged to immediately report it. Those types of rules don't exist at the state level here in Texas, which is what makes our state level lawmakers, our state house representatives, and our state senators more vulnerable and more susceptible to what I would call bribing, but what I suppose officially is called just dirty campaign finance, big pack money, things like that. And given that, I can see why President Donald Trump decided to call Governor Greg Abbott and have gerrymandering happen here, because the state level individuals tend to be more compromised in Texas, more so than other states. But and I'll also pass it off to Diane. So I want to say welcome back to the show, Diane. So what do you think about all this, Diane? What do you think about, have the parties forgotten what to do or where to move forward, and how do you feel about this gerrymandering that's happening? Oh no, I think your
Can't hear.
microphone might not be working. Okay. Make sure to check the microphone sensitivity level, or like the volume, if you will, on the microphone. Um, but
While she's doing that, if you don't mind me, Dale,
yeah, go
so,
ahead.
Stephanie, and again, I know I keep beating a dead horse, But even today, if I go back and look at, we're talking about the amount of money that politicians get to receive, right?
Uh-huh.
If we feel like that we have money over politics, and that's what the part of the problem now with with elections, it's a huge issue because just today, if when I went through and looked at the trackairpack.com, which is one of the biggest packs or dog money out there, you got people like Ted Cruz that have received over 1,899,059 he received from the pro-Israel lobbyists. This is Ted Cruz. Now we all know Ted Cruz could care less about any of us. Dinah, you ready?
Yes, I switched to my phone, so
All
yeah.
right.
Oof,
Come on,
that was
Diane.
easy.
Bring us in.
Okay, so I think we are in some deep trouble. Uh, we have allowed ourselves to not get out there in the past 10 years and register people and follow up with them to get them to the polls.
Mhm.
And we have created this monster. We have allowed us not just being short one or two people, but 12, 15 reps to even, to even have a chance to even uh, be able to vote at the House level. And with that said, they have been able to come and conquer us at every level on the city, the state, the county, our education, and the federal level. And, now Trump says, you do this, and we're going to take away your uh, the federal budget that we give you to the cities. So great. So DEI is out of Fort Worth. Now it's out of Arlington as of yesterday.
But
Has Dallas and Denton gone through it? I don't know. You know, uh, when it comes to the elections in Denton County, yeah, y'all's is different on election day. That is asinine. And I doubt most people even know. I know a friend of mine went and voted, and they said, no, you have to go to this particular area. And I'm like, no, you don't. And now, thank you. Now I know differently. And I mean,
Yeah.
she went back by her house, but she was like, I was in Tarrant County, and so I just went to the closest place, thinking, oh, I could do that. And she couldn't. So, and but now Palo Pinto, which is Mineral Wells, is going through the same thing, but where they want to switch it all, the Republican side does. So they put all 20 of their precinct chairs. I know, sort of cute that number 20, right? But uh, I know we got like 700 in Tarrant County. So, and they put them in their paper and said, contact them. They're the ones going to be voting on if they're going to spend $184,000 for one election to have it at your precinct, where you have to go to your precinct. And no one wants it at their precinct. And he said, well, you call your precinct chair. They're the ones that get to vote on this. And you're looking at $184,000 for 20 locations. Imagine Denton County, how much that's going to cost. I mean, that's the whole reason why they said in Tarrant County they were closing some of the sites was to keep it under, so that way it wouldn't cost us more than $1 million to run an election. And that's the reasoning for closing 100 early, 100 election day sites.
but Diane,
Well,
there again,
Diane, last year we fought for that for us to have election sites at the colleges for our young people, and
Mhm.
now I guess he said, "Okay, so I'm gonna give you this, but I'm gonna come back and take it away from you." And I'm like, he's up for reelection, and I know it is time to get him away. I don't know who's gonna run against him, but Tim O'Hara needs to go.
We have Miss Lydia Bean, who has announced that she's going to be running for Tarrant
but
County Judge, and I wholeheartedly support Miss Bean. She is going to do a fantastic job. She's running with it, and she's going to kick some butt, and we're going to get Fort Worth back the way it's supposed to be, where it's for everybody. I mean, we did it at the city level. Damn it, we're going to do it at the county level, and then we're going to do it at the state level, and then we're going to do it at the federal level. It may take
Yeah.
more than one more election, but damn it, we're going to get there because
they,
we're tired of this. You ain't
but
gonna cut. You ain't gonna keep our mouth shut.
right.
I
They,
mean, what they did in Fort Worth was they left one location in all of Fort Worth in 820 and
but where
said, okay, now you can all vote in that one location.
where they at? I can assure you they're not in the heavily populated black and brown areas or where we have senior
No,
citizens.
no, no. That's where the one location is for all of Fort Worth.
Oh, they full of shit.
That's
You
what I went and spoke about because I was
okay?
so ticked off. I was like, "You got to be joking!"
So
And you're
let's
gonna,
talk
and,
about
and the
that.
ones they left were all in like little towns like Benbrook, uh, Saginaw. White Settlement, Azle, South Lake, Colleyville, all the red Republican areas. Man, wait, that's right. They don't even have public transportation. How the hell are they going to get there? That's the
That's
other
why
problem with them. So now you're cutting them off and again. And then I'm like
that's
going,
voter suppression.
yeah, and don't tell me it's not.
It's
There's no
voter
way that it's
suppression.
not. And I'm just furious. It's like, have you even tried to go to Benbrook? I'm like, there's 10 parking spots. And those 10 parking spots is where the workers are. You can't even get in there.
Okay, so we have a comment from Eugene. It's about the money, lobbyists buying politicians against the good of the people. I agree with you on that. And I agree we Democrats are in deep trouble.
Oh, let me. So, if you look at why immigration and putting and just picking up all these people and throwing them into immigration prisons is the thing, it's because if you go and you look at these private prisons that the immigrants are being housed at, sorry, uh, undocumented or citizens, well, hell, anybody that ICE decides to pick up and decides to hold somewhere, there we go. Uh, guess who they contributed to in their campaigns? Do I want to say Abbott? Can I go ahead and say Cruz? Can I go ahead and say Trump, JD Vance?
You can
Hell,
say
That
what
call,
you
they're
call
want.
making money
everyone,
off of it. Hell yeah, they do. They
call,
love this.
call
It has
everyone
nothing about getting rid of them. They just want to use them for the $50,000 a day.
call every one of their asses out because it's all schemes, it's all games, and it's all about suppression. Period. Because if they can control the black and the brown vote, then they feel like they will stay in power. Period. At the end of the day, because when you look at the census and of Texas, the majority of Texas is 60% black and Hispanic. It makes up the majority of the population of Texas. So they realize because we're so tired of their shit, if they can come in, they can slice it up, they can control it. So all of these things are not individualized. They're not. Oh, this is just to make Texas better. It's a lie because everything they have done has been geared toward keeping down the brown and the black communities. Period, across the board. Because if you go to the heavily white areas, I can promise you they got more than one polling location. I can promise you they don't have issues getting to the polling location. I can guarantee you. Go to TCU. I bet you they got a couple voting places on TCU. Oh, oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
No,
I,
Well, I can
I,
definitely
I
go
really
they
ahead,
hate.
did.
Dan.
They did open up the Northeast campus, which is good, being that they are having the special election for Senate '09. But
Yeah,
that's the only one they opened up. So
and to add to your point, Kenneth, and I hate to say this because this is probably just going to frustrate you more, but well, I live in a pretty nice area. We'll just put it that way. Like I got all my neighbors are basically lake houses. I'm almost a lake house if it weren't for the golf course behind my house. It's a nice area. A lot of people look like me around here, and we have our voting annex. It's right next to our public library, and it's a building that is basically just for voting. I don't know if it's ever used for anything else. I have never seen a line. It's very easy to get to. I've never had a problem voting myself, but that's also probably because of my neighborhood. It's interesting because we can vote anywhere in the county. Of course, that's only during early voting. Out of curiosity, like I've driven around a bit. Like for example, I went to other parts of Frisco, Texas, to see like what the voting was like in other areas. I've noticed they put the voting locations a lot of times at like Frisco Fire Station 7, Frisco Fire Station 8, and it's a lot smaller. It's kind of hard. It's harder to get like to find parking and things like that. It's very noticeable that here in this particular area in the colony where I live, voting is way easier. I mean, they have a dedicated building just for voting. Meanwhile, in other places, I'm seeing and when I say like Frisco, I can't remember if Frisco Fire Station 7 or if it was 8, but it's a tiny, tiny little room. And in fact, our county commissioners court, when they were asking, should we have both Democrats and Republicans voting in the same primary, same location during the primary, they said, no, Frisco Fire Station's too small. We have to have just one of the two parties there, right? It is very noticeable how the county commissioners do have the ability, unfortunately, to play games and kind of prioritize certain areas over others. And kind of driving around during the early voting periods and voting myself in Denton County, I can definitely see it. But I've heard the stories and how things. I mean, like I will say things are manipulated here in Denton County, but I've definitely heard lots of stories upon how our Tarrant County neighbors have it seemingly much worse than we do, especially
Well, I
with, I
mean,
think, that redistricting that you guys did, your county commissioner redistricting.
yeah. I mean, one of the issues that we had was that they said that we're going to go in and get rid of the locations that, we don't have, it's not very big. White Settlement holds like 8 machines. They'll have a 3 hour wait because they're waiting for the machine. I mean, and that's really it. And it's like, how is that a good place to have it? You closing down Como and Southside when their community centers and have huge, I mean, can have 25, 30 machines and you don't have that wait. But hey, let's have it in White Settlement. And I don't think I need to go anywhere about that they're red.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything about that. But I'm gonna tell y'all, as my experience has been from a clerk to an election judge, it is so difficult, especially on election days, when you have people in Denton County that come drive maybe 45 minutes to an hour or whatever to go and vote, and then they find out, hey, I can't vote here. I gotta go elsewhere.
Mhm.
That's wrong. And especially if it's like 30 minutes until, and they thinking that it's just like early voting, that they can go vote anywhere. We gotta change that. You know, why would you have a problem with a person voting? Especially y'all been running in Texas for 30 years. Obviously, you hadn't had a problem with people doing any crazy things with the voting thing. So why are you scared now? Are you scared because you know that the people are changing their minds about and their views and they want something better? Are you worried about your seats? That's the thought.
Well, in Denton County too, you have a lot of people that work in Dallas or Fort Worth and don't just stay in Denton, right? And so they may go for lunch and just go to the closest place inside of Denton County, and then go, "Oh my God, I live on the other side. I can't. I got to go back to work. I'm not going to make it home in time to at my precinct to go vote."
Yeah.
And
I
so they're losing out on the vote.
I
Especially with the traffic. Y'all seeing our traffic on 35 and what is that? 635, 820. It's always a parking lot,
Hmm.
so you're never going to get anywhere. If you want to go vote, you might have to go vote in the early voting time if you want to go and get out to vote. But we do have a comment on here from Eugene. I'm loving Eugene. The minority is
I have to
ruling.
join us.
You're going to have to. He says they don't want to give up power and can accept the demographic charges. That's true. And minority is ruling the minority. And oh, he just a repeat. Yeah,
but we
I agree with you. It's like the minority wants to be the majority, and you got these people that are getting great benefits and they want to stay in power and they don't want to leave. And that's one of the reasons why we can't adapt to change, because we have people there that are not adaptable and they refuse to change. So this is why we have to go out and vote. We have people that are registered to vote right now, but with all its changes, and if you've moved, you need to check with your voter places and make sure that you can register to that. First, make sure you register to vote. Second, make sure that your address is correct on your voter registration and go vote.
we have
Because
And if you got married or divorced, make sure your name's correct on it.
we
don't
got
even get me started. That's one of the things that we were talking about earlier, that you have to go get a passport.
regardless to any of this garbage that they're doing, guys, we have more than 7 million Democratic people registered to vote in the state of Texas. More
Yeah.
than 7 million, which double the number of Republicans that are registered to vote. So, regardless of how they butcher and slate this cycle, if we all come together as a party, even without being Democratic or being Republican, and we come together and we turn out and we vote, we can stop the bull crap that they're doing.
Mhm.
Because just
Yeah.
Democrats alone, we are, y'all, Texas is truly a blue state. I know they like to say that we're red, and it's been red for the last 30 years. But if we're going by the statistic and the numbers, Texas has more than 7 million registered Democrats. And if just a third of them turn out and vote, we would defeat any measure that the Republicans attempt to put in place. So it
Yeah.
doesn't matter about any of this other stuff, guys. No matter how they want to hold us down and suppress us, We have to show them our voice. We got to show them what we mean in numbers. Because right now, actions speak louder than words. We can talk all day long about how tired we are of this shit. But if we don't turn out at the polls and vote, it's all for nothing.
And
Yeah.
speaking of action, I'm finna switch gears on you real quick. So go ahead, take a sip of your water. So let's jump in with Chicago. So Chicago, the city is pushing back hard against some of the callings, and they calling for the federal government to stop trying to take over. The governor is saying, "Hey, we don't need the National Guards here." The mayor is on board saying we don't need them here. So now they're getting to the point where they're going to have to sign some type of agreement how the police are going to be working with the federal government, which I think is wrong because you're undermining your police department by bringing the troops in, and our troops boots should not be on the ground on American soil. I'm just gonna leave it like that. It
Texas
should not
National
be.
Guard has been sent to Chicago.
It violates the Constitution.
Our
And
tax money is
in
going
New
to
Orleans, they're
Chicago.
headed to New Orleans as of today. I've been told they're headed to New Orleans as well.
To do
So,
what? To do what? It's a red state. Louisiana's a red state.
but look at New Orleans. New Orleans. What does it look like?
New Orleans has the highest murder rates per capita of any of the 50 U.S. states. Let's be real and call a spade a spade. The only thing that Donald Trump is attacking is our blue states. Let's be honest, the blue states. But what he did in Washington, D.C., he does not have the right to do in the 49 other states around the U.S. Because Washington, D.C. is not considered a real state. It's considered federal territory. He can do those things. But in order to go into Chicago, in order to go into California, you have to have the approval and the permission of the governor unless it is a true national emergency or national disaster and not that bullshit excuse that Trump is using for his reason to invade countries and invade a U.S. territory. Bullcrap.
Well,
Yeah.
hopefully this Congress will get out and speak out and say, no, we're not going to do that. So they're back in session. So we're going to see exactly how this is going to turn out. But I stand with Chicago. You should not be having the National Guards in there. They got other things to be doing. First of all, Texas, you haven't even fixed the issue that we have out there in Caryville. You haven't even addressed that.
Nope.
You
Yeah.
need to fix your house before
They're
you
gonna have a
go
third
slinging your
special.
This is my whole issue, Stephanie. Y'all, I am for peace across the world, no matter where you are in the globe. But I'm of the belief is if you can't take care of your shit at home, you can't go take care of somebody somewhere else. You need to take care of home first and get home in order. All this money that the government wants to spend to send people out of the country to other countries and other places in the world. How about reinvest that money into our homeless population? How about put that money back into our healthcare system? We're spending $200 freaking million. They've started construction in the White House on a freaking ballroom right now. Literally, they have started on the ballroom, but you're telling me you can't reinvest those funds into a healthcare. In the United States, on average, we pay hand over feet in freaking taxes, Stephanie. When you get your paycheck, you're paying taxes on it. The same paycheck you're going to go to the store to buy food, supplies, household cleaning supplies, you're paying taxes on it.
We're overly taxed.
When you buy a car, you're paying tax out of that same paycheck. So why in the hell do we not have free health care? Mexico, Canada, Australia, even Germany offers free healthcare to their citizens. There is no reason why in the United States of America, every person here does not have free healthcare. It ain't because we can't afford it. We're already paying for it. So let's be real.
We definitely can't afford it right now.
We can afford it. It's there. If we can spend fucking millions of dollars per day on ice.
No, I mean us individually cannot afford it right now.
Again, like I say, all the money we're paying in taxes, there is no freaking excuse why we cannot. But we went into added $3 trillion to the deficit to take care of our top 1% earners, which is only about 81 individuals in the world that are billionaires that are in the top 1% of the economy of the world. But yet we give them the tax credit. We cancel health care for 15 million people, which predominantly are children, by the way, which are on Medicaid. But we want to talk about we're defending our healthcare system. Everything that you look at bridges for healthcare.
If you want,
I agree. I agree.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, I know that I've been advocating for healthcare for a long time. I believe Stephanie has too in the previous campaigns. But going back to The topic I think you were trying to bring up, Stephanie, was the events going on in Chicago right now. So yeah, President Trump has declared plans to dispatch National Guard troops to Chicago to combat, quote, violent crime, framing it as a constitutional duty to protect American citizens. He notably said, quote, we're going in, end quote, but he didn't specify a timeline. Now, I'm not quite sure if they're actually going in yet. I haven't really been keeping up with the news for today, but I have seen that Mayor Brandon Johnson swiftly responded by issuing an executive order that prohibits collaboration between the Chicago Police Department and federal agents for immigration, and also mandates Chicago police wear full uniforms and avoid masks. That's good. That's
Is
good. They
trying to
clearly distinguish themselves from federal agents.
he's trying to train National Guard to do officer duties. Our rule of law and our government forbids the Constitution being used against our law. Forgets the military being used against
Yep.
our people on American soil.
Oh,
If ands and buts about it, the president of the United States is violating the Constitution, and he doesn't give a damn. And nor is the Supreme Court or Congress or Senate is keeping him in power and checking that power. So when you say our Senate is going to hopefully stop him from doing what? From doing what? The man has unchecked power, and he acts like a toddler on the floor having a temper tantrum when Chicago doesn't say, "So we need your permission. Come help us in Chicago."
Yeah.
yeah, he wants the governor to call him, and I agree with the governor. I'm not going to call you if I don't have a problem. That's stupid.
Hmm.
But we're gonna switch on to the next one since we in that area. So they had planes flying over the victims that were speaking out today. So how you like those apples? So the victims of the Epstein file thing that's going on, they were out today and they had a conference and they were trying to have a conversation. And what do you hear? Nothing but jets passing them by. Every time one of them got to speak, they wanted to solace them. And my thought is, listen,
How childish.
But no, but what did that woman say? But the woman that was on there giving her broadcast, one of the victims actually called Trump out, as in saying what he did to her. She called him out by name. So let's see what happens with her. And God knows I don't want anything to happen to anybody. But when you call Trump out on his BS, he used our government as a personal pawn or a weapon, like he's playing chess.
Hmm.
So she
yeah,
named him in her complaint as what he did to her.
Yeah, and I have a couple of notes, and I'm not quite sure if this is the survivor you're talking about or if this is someone else. But one of my notes I have is ABC News Capitol Hill correspondent Jay O'Brien asked the victims for their reaction to Trump's characterization of all the stuff, calling it, quote, a hoax. So one survivor, Haley Robson, said it felt like it was, quote, being gutted from the inside out. She said, quote, Mr. President Donald Trump, I am a registered Republican. Not that that matters because this is non-political. However, I cordially invite you to meet me in the Capitol in person so you can understand that this is not a hoax. We are real human beings. This is real trauma, end quote. So that was, I think, pretty powerful. But, it's other notes I have is I heard, I guess Mike Johnston did not watch the testimony. He did not see it. And in addition to all this, Congress is kind of trying to take action here, but are they? Are they not?
Oh,
Apparently,
you
Representative
got Marguerite
Massey.
Taylor Green coming out.
if
She's
you
Yep.
saying something.
it's time for her to be reelected again. So she's gonna have to take a stand on something because her daddy Trump ain't supporting her. But no, the 30,000 pages of the Epstein files they released are
Mhm.
documents that have already been released. What we
Yes.
want is the files that he had the Secret Service and the FBI redact that had his name in it. Release those files. I am all for protecting the people's rights for those that were victims, unless they say release my name. Release the files and not the same 30,000 pages of documents that has already been released a long time ago. There are hundreds and thousands of more documents that actually list Trump in those documents. But he keeps saying, tell whatever her name is, one of his other little lap buddies, that what she thinks is in the best interest. But no, the people in Chicago called him out. The women that stood out today and had their speaking and had their press conference called him out. And I stand with them. As somebody who has been assaulted, I am an assault victim. I was a victim. I know what it feels like to go through that trauma.
Yeah.
So if you've been through that trauma, you don't understand how it feels. So they can talk
Exactly.
all day long, but we want to see action. We want to feel protected and safe. And right now, he's doing a piss poor job of that.
And for those women to speak up, I mean,
It takes a
just
lot of guts.
national world media. I mean, God help them. I mean, that takes a lot of courage to be able to say what they said.
Diane,
And
you're
you know, I've sat there and I've seen a lot of news today with the people that with some of the women congressmen and stuff, and they're really and that are Republican. They're very shaken up about it, and some of the men are. And you know, I've talked to a lot of Republicans in the last couple of weeks, month about it, and they're really furious that they just. You know, hey, we shut this down and we're going to leave. We're not going to make them get out the Epstein files. They really want to see if Trump's name's on it.
they
They
know he
want to know every person's name on it and see if they've elected this person.
Diane, do you really think for 1 second they don't know Trump name is all in those files? Do you really think for one
They trust him. They trust him. God help them. They trust him with their life.
Well, I'm
And
gonna
and,
say
and this
this.
would actually show them that guess what? Yeah, he's not trustworthy. Something we've known for a long time.
Yeah,
And
we
no,
know
we
he's definitely
think
not
Epstein with
trustworthy.
suicide. No.
Yeah, I
Well,
will say this. This is another note that I have of some a development that happened, or the latest update, I guess, was today, was that there actually was a petition to actually just have everything get released. So it was actually started by, well, it was both a Republican, but a Democrat joined in. Republican Representative Massey
yeah,
discharged a position. It had 206 signatures as of Wednesday afternoon. So that was, I believe, today. But it got 206 signatures, but it needed 208 to compel a vote for the House floor. So it did fail. But it
Yeah.
failed after Speaker Mike Johnson urged Republicans to not support Massey's discharge petition during a closed conference meeting Wednesday morning, according to multiple sources. Johnston instead argued the ongoing investigation should go by the House Oversight Committee. But this is a common tactic I see with both Trump and a lot of his supporters is to delay, and
yeah,
then distract. So
and one of the
it's
comments
crazy
that
to
we
see
got,
that
sorry to
there
cut you
is.
off.
Sorry.
One of the comments said, "Nothing is free," so they agreeing.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, it is crazy to see that there are, like, as Diane was saying, I think some people are shaken up. So Representative Massey, who's a Republican, I think is shaken up here, and
Yeah,
so clearly are those other 206 representatives who signed the petition for the discharge. But unfortunately, I guess I don't know if there just wasn't enough, or if that while some people got shaken up, as you mentioned, Diane, that Speaker Mike Johnson jumped in and tried to pull everyone back,
first of
right?
all, even Dale, if they got enough people to sign the petition, it wouldn't have been enough to get the required files released. This was nothing more than a tactic because what they would have released was the crap they just released. There's nothing that's actually going to force because while you can force him to put it on the floor, he can still table certain items that are put on the floor regardless. So this was nothing but a tactic or maneuver to get the people's support to make it seem like they were doing something. But if you
Okay.
actually research
But
what
we
was,
also now have it in writing what reps are not allowing it. Period.
it's the
And
Republicans, the
even
Democrats.
though that that the citizens that voted for them want it to come out, that we at least have proof. Now, hey, and every time if even we know it's going to fail, at least we know there's a vote, so we know what they're voting for and what they're voting against. That's important for us.
It
yeah,
is important, Diane, but they knew this shit 4 months ago. They knew this shit
Well,
six
yeah.
months ago. None of this is new. This is all a political stunt. It's
Oh,
all a
yeah.
diversion. Trump just wants to keep diversions and smoke screens going to distract American people from the real issues that are happening right now. And if you're paying attention, between him shooting missiles over here in Venezuela and doing all these things over here in different places, this is all a smoke screen. This is all this is. And if you think his Republican counterparts are not having his back, you got another
Well,
thing
they
coming.
do.
This is
they
why
do.
I said until we flip the freaking house back blue, Trump's going to continue to run amok because those Republicans are too damn afraid to buck him when they don't realize this is nothing but a toddler in an old man's body.
And when we flip, the House back. We need to flip both of them back. To be honest with you, we do.
Oh
We
yeah.
need to flip them back. But when we flip them, we need to make sure that we have people that's going to actually serve the people and stand up for the people. Because we have people that's sitting in these blue seats right now that are not doing their job. They're not standing
Yeah.
up. They're not. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. All this time, who have we been seeing that's been fighting for the people to the point to where they're losing their position? We done seen Jasmine. We done seen Al Green sitting up there, putting their names out there, darn near getting
Yeah.
arrested, putting their stuff out there. Representative Al Green done impeached him, tried to get him impeached how many times?
It's twice
And
I
the
recall.
party didn't stand back. We know we don't have the numbers on our side, but at least unify. And that is what's wrong with the Democratic Party right now. Is the simple fact is we got the
Yeah.
votes. But when you don't want to unify, that's when you have problems. We should be like what is that, Governor Cooks, that he's trying to kick her out of her position. We should be acting a fool right about now, legally, do it the right way, and be trying to make sure that she's protected. Now you got one group that is trying to protect her, but you got the other one sitting back twiddling their fingers. Why? She's done nothing wrong. But you coming for her. Why are you coming for her? Because she's a black woman standing on. She was trained by the best. She knows her job backwards and forward, but you're afraid that she's going to show you up and show where your flaws are at. That's the problem, because you know you're doing some crooked stuff, and she's the person that's going to stand up and do it.
But he
Mhm.
said we need somebody that's above board and unapproach or above reproach. But yet you sitting there with 34 felonies and you want to tell somebody about being above reproach.
What's good for me is not good for you.
Yeah.
That's what that is. That's what that is. But we as a people, we're gonna have to come together. And there are people on the Republican side. Y'all just gonna have to quit being so damn scared and get this man out. That's y'all little baby. Y'all made that monster, and you're gonna be the one who have to get rid of him because he is hurting us financially. He's hurting us health wise. He's even hurting the dang on environment.
He
What
tried to
more
send
can
600 children away the other day to Guatemala. What kind of man will take 600 children and put them in a freaking airplane and was about to take off and send them to Guatemala?
And thank God for the judge that said no
No.
and stop that. So we got some people that got some common sense. Basically, we need people with common sense to be put in office that's going to make sure that they make right decisions instead of all this crazy stuff. Because instead of us going forward, we're going backwards, and we're a laughing joke in front of the whole world.
There is
Not
no,
just
Okay.
in the
I
country,
think that
it's the whole
okay.
world.
What we need though is we need to have Democrats that are willing to speak up. We need them. We need to have a checklist. Okay. When
Yeah.
you're gonna go and you're gonna run, you need to sit one and say, "Are you got balls?
no, man. The problem is
Do you have balls? Because I need you to stand up for the people that voted for your ass.
if
Don't
they
just sit
don't,
back. Open your mouth.
if they
Show them you're mad.
if
Show
they
them your anger. Because I know these people are calling their reps and they're pissed.
if that
They need to get it back out because I'm ticked off.
if the representatives don't do their fucking jobs, you fire them. Period. Point blank. The end. If you go to McDonald's or you go to any other job in the world, and you get a job for 90 days, you're on probationary period. And if your employer finds for any reason you're not doing your job, your ass is laid off. So you know what? Our elected officials have a fiduciary duty to their constituents, and by all means, if they're not doing their damn jobs, we can file a suit to have them removed in court. If they want to file it for those 51 Democrats that broke quorum, why the hell can we not file a suit in court? Because these officers that we've elected have breached their fiduciary duties and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So why not get their asses out of office? We
Well,
don't need.
one thing that would help if we actually had term limits.
I agree.
Because I mean, you get so much money being built up, and they keep getting all more donors because they're gonna do this and do that and everything else, and then they can sit there and say, now I'm in position now that if you don't do what I like, we gonna make sure that you get primaried.
This is another reason why I say politicians, if you can't walk a day in the mile of your constituents, your ass don't need to be in office. If you don't know what it means to struggle to pay your lights, gas, your water, your medical bills, then your ass don't need to be in office because you do not understand the everyday working family, man, woman, single parent, single father. You don't get it. You don't. And how many of them in office
Out of
get it?
touch.
Because most of them are rich, they have money, or they got an office off of the name of their parents' name or some trust fund kid. But
And
not
those are the ones with no balls.
and not one of them can actually tell you what a cost of eggs cost. Well, not one of them can tell you where to go in the community. Hell, Craig Goldman, right here in District 12, we ain't seen him. His office is in a golf resort downtown. I mean, seriously, are we serious? Are you serious?
Yeah.
September 23rd, we're going to be doing a little protest at 8 o'clock in the morning because he's having an event at his office. We would love for you
Oh,
to come,
And I
Mr.
would
Kenneth.
love to show, but I can assure
well,
you, he go.
I believe it's a Jewish holiday, which he shouldn't be working, but maybe he's not Jewish. I
hey,
don't.
we got another comment. Eugene said the Democrat Party needs to have a backbone, and also we need term limits. So hey, I
Well, we'll see.
campaigned on that about term limits. We definitely need to have term limits, but in order for us to be able to change things, we need Democrats. Y'all got to vote.
Hmm.
They got to
Republicans,
go.
some of y'all gonna have to cross the line and come vote on our side in order for us to fix it. You can do it. Nobody's gonna know who you voted for, but we need to change some things because we're gonna continue on going down this rabbit hole till there's no return. And in a minute, women, we already done lost our rights. You don't have a say of what you do with your body. It
Roe
is
versus
up to
Wade.
you.
Roe
Exactly.
versus
It's
Wade.
gone.
How
It
is
is time for you to stand up for yourself. And if you don't care about yourself, think about your daughters, your nieces, your next door neighbor's daughter. Think about those folks that are dependent on us to fight. Because right now it looks like we are sitting on our hands and we're letting things happen. And you have a handful of people that's trying fight and they're exhausted trying to fight for us. Y'all, we all have to help our representatives that are in office right now that are trying to do their work, do the job and fight for you. We need to help fight for them as well. I don't know what else we have to do to make it happen. Yes, I do. On in 2026, all of y'all get off your ass and go vote.
You know what? But let's start in 2025 because we do have 17 propositions and we need to show up because those are important as well because we trying to give away a lot of money to the billionaires, state taxes and
right?
stuff like that.
Right? Right?
So we definitely got to be there and vote for this and show them, look, we're going to show up because
Yeah.
we don't, and, they're going to cut down how many locations we have and then say, see, we didn't have any voters. Well, yeah, because you
Exactly.
put them in the spot that we need them. Idiots. But
Well,
that's
that's
a whole different story.
all
But we do have to show up and uh, we have to take people with us. And
Yeah.
if you have a church that can donate a van, let us know because we'll, hey, we'll get it used,
Hey,
especially for
I'm
people in a
with you.
wheelchair.
Hey Diane, I'm with that part about getting vans and you in y'all's area, Tarrant County. Y'all gonna have to really strategize with the ministers out there.
Hmm.
And I'm not talking about these Christian ministers. I'm talking about the real ministers that were called by God,
Right.
not these fake people that are playing like they love you when they don't. They're not doing what God says do. If you follow Jesus, then you know that you're supposed to be taking care of your neighbors and not taking care of the wealthy people.
That's the
You
problem,
wrong.
Stephanie. That
You
we
need to
as
be
the
having
people,
you need to be having your license revoked because you're not a real Christian. You're not a real pastor. If you're sitting up here upholding this pedophile for doing all these things that they're doing, I'm
man,
not sorry for what I'm saying. You need to start standing up. So yes, Diane, y'all need to have a strategy in
Hmm.
place now. All of these county party people need to get together and make sure we have a plan in place where we can go and take people where it is needed, where they can go and vote,
Yep.
especially in our poor areas. We need to have people out there ready to go. Take them to the voting location. Have dates. Hey, on early votes, we're gonna pile this place up. We ain't leaving. Got one bus coming in, have the other one coming. If they don't want the
Yep.
bus, they tried to stop that to where you dropping people off. We'll drop them off three or four blocks.
Yeah.
Do something.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's pretty much I believe it's if you can't take more than 7 people for curbside voting, but you can take more than that if it's not curbside voting. Uh,
Me
I
a
did
car.
read that. Now, the one of the issues I have is so in the Southside Community Center in Fort Worth is off of Rosedale and Evans, okay, and uh, that's where the National Juneteenth Museum is going to be built. And less than 6 months ago, City Council was talking to the community, and they said, uh, what do y'all think? And they're like, we don't want to lose our voting location. That's one of the ones they chopped. And after they said, "Oh no, we'll make sure there's a place within a block for you to vote." But hey, and that goes for all the hospital districts. So all the nurses and doctors, and you're looking at all of the downtown residents, and plus the South Side residents, that have been going there for decades and had the same people. I mean, they've all been there like 30 years. Every one of the election judges and clerks, you know, and they know everybody by name because I've worked at that location, and that's what's sad is, we promise them we're not going to take away your voting location, and then we, boom, we zap it away. And
Well, they take
and,
away the
and all we
voting
have to do is
locations.
list. All we have to do is put on the door, so when they get there, they'll know the four closest locations where they can go to. Well, I'm sorry if you've already paid to get there and you waited, and especially if you wheelchair and one of the buses only allow one or two wheelchairs at a time, and the next bus stop is 2 hours away. How long are you going to wait for them to take you to the next location?
That's why they depending on them to do that. That's the plan. That's the plan is to make them so angry to where they're not going to come up to go vote. That's voter suppression. They're doing it, and we're going to have to fight back.
Yeah,
And like I said, everyone, all these church members, all these pastors, the real pastors, you're going to have to get involved. All the schools, the principals, ISDs, y'all going to have to get involved, and we're going to have to make sure that we have people volunteer to go out and work in those elections too, because that's going to be the problem is to get people who's going to go and volunteer their time to go vote, to not register people to vote, but to get them to go vote.
yeah.
We're gonna need clerks. We're gonna need election judges out there. So they're gonna need spaces, and then because Fort Worth always had issues with their equipment. You got to make sure that your equipment is working. Make sure they're not sabotaging the equipment. So y'all
Yeah.
gonna really have to be getting on top of these folks and making sure that you got the equipments, and you got to make sure the transportation is there.
Yep.
Stephanie.
That's the
Oh, and
only.
let me say something else, Stephanie, real quick. So, you know, I've been looking at Tarrant County and who's actually filling out, who want, to run for House district or Senate or whatever. And we're not having that many people fill out for judges. Once again, who's the people that the Texas Attorney General goes to, who Trump goes to, who Cruz goes to overturn all these wonderful things? It's our judges. We got to get more judges to run because we're not, if we don't, our whole ballot is empty pretty much. And so, hey, and if you're on this call, you know, it means that you're a leader, okay? Because you care enough to listen to all four of us. And you're going, yeah, they're right, which means you can make a difference. Think about it. You too could run for something. It doesn't have to be at the state level, federal level. It can be in your own town. It can be for your ISD, it can be for your water board. Just you know, you know, be a
Right.
precinct chair. You know, volunteer for a campaign. Do something. Get off your butt. We need you. We all need you so bad.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. It's to the point where, folks, please listen to what we're saying. I know we use a lot of swear words in here and stuff, but we're all very passionate about how we feel, about how we're being treated, and the way how our state is going, and how our country is being ran. This is the time where you don't sit down and say nothing. This is the time where you have to speak out. And the best way you can show them is to go vote. And you have to go vote in the general election. You have to go vote in the primaries. You have to go and vote when there's nobody that's running for anything on the ballots. Like Diane said, come November, it's a lot of amendments on there and some bills on there that you need to go out to go vote for. Let's go plan to go out and go vote. We can do if we do this all together. Trust me, we can make a change, but we cannot make a change if we sit back and take this. Nobody's going to come and rescue us. We're
And
on
if
our
you in Tarrant County, leave Stephanie a message. Tell him to get Diane over to pick me up, and I'll take you to go vote.
Okay, but what about the mail-in ballots, guys? You know Trump wants to stop the mail-in ballots, and that again targets. Let's go
voter
to the article.
suppression.
It targets our seniors. It targets our military, and if you I get it. I hear you guys. Yes, we need to show up and we need to vote. Yes, we can march. But if you marching, that doesn't mean a damn thing if you don't show up and vote. But if we also don't stop him from eliminating mail-in ballots, because a large number of our veterans, our military personnel do mail-in ballots. Our seniors do mail-in ballots. This is the same mail-in ballot process that made sure Trump got his ass in office in January. But now that he's there, he wants to stop it. So we can't forget about this little small piece, guys, because see, he's signing an executive order. If he didn't already do it today, it was on his agenda to sign an executive order to prohibit and stop mail-in ballots. So
And he shouldn't be able to do that because that's a state thing. That's not a federal.
okay, but when the hell is DEI, Will Governor Hot Wheels care about what's a state issue? Hell, that damn Cheeto man said, "Give me 5 seats," and you go out and steal from the black and brown communities to give him 5 seats. So you think he's going to give a damn now about?
I want to know why Abbott was slacking and didn't say, "Well, I'll just go ahead and get you 7."
He damn near did if you looked at the maps and the way he gerrymandered it. But
Oh,
see,
it's pretty bad. Pretty bad. But, yeah.
ooh, anyway,
Well, y'all, it is time for us to get ready to head out of here. But I want both of y'all, because both of y'all are, well, it looks like everybody on here is running for something. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to say something about why should we vote for you. Diane, I'm going to put you up first.
Well,
I
actually, I'm just highly considering. I'm Diane Simons, and I'm actually a House District Coordinator for Texas House District 97. And on Tuesday mornings from 7 to 9 a.m., you'll see us at I-20 and Bryan Irving with our Bridge Brigade, letting people be aware of what's going on in our community, like the Epstein files and when the press conference is going to be. And I will state, there will be a No Kings Part 2 rallies coming up on October 18th, so watch out for that. I'm also a precinct chair. Until I can get my precinct with precinct chairs and volunteers, I'm just going to say I'm highly considering running for Texas House 97. But right now, we do have a special election for our state Senate '09, where Kelly Hancock was, and who took another position. So I want to make sure that that we win that one. And the only way we're going to do that is if we have precinct chairs and volunteers. And so I'm uh, stepping back and helping the people right now. So stay tuned.
Oh, now I get a chance to go. See, all right, guys. You didn't even get it out now. Y'all ain't even right. I'm Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera. I'm a husband. I am a father. I am a grandfather. I'm a U.S. Army veteran and an executive director for a local nonprofit healthcare organization. I'm running for Congress for Texas 12th Congressional District as a Democrat. I'm not running, guys, because I have all the answer or because I know everything. I'm running for Congress because I understand the struggle that many of us face today. And frankly, it's important because if you have someone in office that's representing you and they don't understand the struggle, how in the hell can they represent you and defend you and look out for your interests in Congress if they don't understand you? So my platform is built around me running for office based on I understand the struggle of the everyday working class man, woman, or family. I also believe in my campaign, it's about flipping the script. I believe in expanding affordable healthcare access. I believe in defending females' reproductive rights. I'm also an advocate I can't even talk now, Diane. See, to mess me up so bad. I'm an advocate, guys, for affordable healthcare access. Diane, we gonna fight. You see, we gonna fight, guys. My name is Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilar. I'm running for Congress in Texas 12th Congressional District. I can't even say.
I just carded you.
I'm gonna get you.
I have to say, y'all, here on Let's Talk About It stuff, you never know what's going to happen or who's going to say what. But you know what? It's all in good fun because we love each other and we
Yes, we
love
do.
what we are doing. And we want to stand up and speak out for the people. But I have our co host, nobody but Dale himself, is going to
Woo.
say a little something, something. Go ahead, Dale.
Yeah, so I guess I can finally talk about it legally because I finally got my paperwork in. But I'm officially now running for. I haven't filed yet, but I got my treasurer report set up. So I am running for Denton County Commissioner's Court Precinct 2. It's a very important position. Mainly, the main point of contention here in Denton County in the Commissioner's Court is the fact that while we have countywide voting during the early voting period, we do not have countywide voting on the election day itself, which is the last day to vote. We're seeing 11 to 15% of people getting redirected on the voting day due to this. And this confuses people. There are some college kids who say, man, I guess I can't make it because I got to make it to class. And so they kind of lose their opportunity to vote. There's another story that we heard of a guy who had to be hydraulically lifted out of his car because he's in a wheelchair and on a breathing machine, rolls in, gets told, sir, I'm sorry, sir, you can't vote here. You have to go to this other location. This confuses people, and this is essentially voter suppression. And we know that Melinda Preston is the RNC county chair for the Denton County Republican Party. And long before she's been a chair, she's been coming to the Denton County Commissioner's Court, and she's been wanting to remove our electronic voting tabulators and have all votes counted by a human hand, right? And this is something that a lot of us stand against. I know the arguments that the Republicans say is like, well, these machines can be hacked. Well, okay, but while machines can be hacked, humans have bias. And so I don't necessarily trust every single person in the world to necessarily be someone to count votes by hand because of potential bias. And also because, well, people are prone to make mistakes. I mean, if we're seriously concerned about the security of our electronic voting tabulators, it's our county commissioner's job to oversee that. And so between that and demanding that we have countywide voting on the election day itself is something that I'm going to be pushing for, running for Denton County Commissioner's Court Precinct 2. I'm building my website right now. It's frayfortexas.com. I haven't published it yet, but I am soon, probably either tonight or tomorrow night. And I thank you for your time.
Good luck, Dill.
Yay.
All right, Stephanie, can I get a do-over? I'm ready. Diane can't make me laugh anymore.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do a do-over. Okay, don't tell the rest of the people that's coming on here.
All right, I won't. All right, guys. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Kenneth Morgan Aguilera. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I'm the executive director of a local healthcare organization. I'm currently running for Congress in Texas 12th Congressional District as a Democrat. I'm not running for Congress because I have all the answers. I'm running for Congress, guys, because I understand the struggle and I have lived it. My campaign is about flipping the script because we need to change things. I am an advocate for, and I believe in making sure that we have affordable health care for everyone, not just a select privileged few. I believe in ensuring that we have an affordable living wage and affordable housing, as well as supporting local small businesses and investing in our unions. I also will protect and defend female reproductive rights, as well as protect Medicare and Social Security. Again, my name is Dr. Kenneth Morgan. I'm running for Congress in Texas 12th Congressional District as your next congressman.
Go, doctor, go. Woo, good job.
Good.
Whoa, never.
I'm just gonna give everybody a round of applause today. 'Cause
I don't
y'all
need a
did
repeat
awesome. Y'all was just awesome. I would like to take this time to thank everyone who has been watching this show. Please make sure that you subscribe. The more people that subscribe, the more that we can wind up getting the word out to more people. Because what are we trying to do? We're trying to change the way how America's being ran and change the way how Texas is. It is time for us to start standing up for our rights and taking our power back. And the only way that you can take your power back if you go out and vote. Vote like your life depends on it, because this is it. Some of y'all met me last year when I ran for office, and I said, we this is the last line. We're at the last line, the line. Some folks don't already cross that line. So it's time for us to stick up and start fighting back. And the way that you fight back is we got to go vote. I can't say and express this enough. We have got to go vote. Get your young people out that's in your homes, in your schools, in your churches, wherever you have these young people at. Explain to them what's going on and what can be done, because we are fighting for their future. Our future is pretty much over. We're fighting for the next generation behind us and make sure that they have a better future, make sure their environment is good. So if you are over the age of 18, get registered to vote and go vote. Take your friends with you. It doesn't take that long. Get out to go vote, because we need you.
And if you're in Tarrant County, let Stephanie know. I can come and register you to vote.
Hey, yes, and we need people to volunteer all over the place, and we need volunteers to go work the elections. We need volunteers for precinct chairs throughout the state of Texas. So please get with your local county chairs and go volunteer. So I thank you. I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming on here. Kenneth and Diane, I love y'all to death. Thank y'all for coming on here. Dale, I can't say enough. You are my guy. I just depend on him. But you know what? We always gonna have fun, and I hope you feel better. And you have a wonderful vacation time. And until next time, we'll see y'all next week. And y'all have a safe and wonderful week. And I also, let me stop and say this. I want to send a condolence to my family members out in Lake Charles. The Olivers, they lost their mother today, and I just want to spend a special shout out to y'all. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all soon. And may God bless you. All right, y'all, we're out of here.
Diane, I'm gonna get you.
We're still live.
It's a wrap. All right.